Hey guys, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz, and today I've got a unboxing. Well, you've seen this unboxing probably a dozen times now because there's been others that have gotten this out. My buddy P-Dub has the exclusive and got it earlier, and he's to blame as to why I went out and got this product. So you guys know that I have this arcade down here in the arcade studio, if you will, and today's unboxing, well, stay tuned. Alright, so, as I said in the beginning of this video, I've got an unboxing for you. I've got the handy dandy Swiss Army knife, MacGyver style, and we're going to bust into this box here. This is a product that was shipped by Walmart, but Walmart didn't make it. And I'll get into a little bit about everything with this product in a minute, but I want to talk a little bit about something that really drove me batty with this. So, this just arrived today. It was due Sunday. Actually, it was due last week. And then it went to pending and everything like that. Shipped FedEx from Walmart. Now, I know we're almost to Christmas holiday. I mean, it's December 10th, but FedEx had no idea where this was at. Had no idea why it wasn't being scanned. It was delayed, and it's not just me that have seen this, but other people have seen it with theirs. And late last night, early this morning, it said it was going to be delivered today, but I didn't hold my breath. Well, lo and behold, by 10 o'clock this morning, it was here. And so I am not happy with FedEx in the least bit. Now, I know some people were kind of blaming Toy Shock. In fact, Walmart and FedEx were trying to blame Toy Shock as the reason that this was late. So I just want to put that out there to anybody that's thinking about ordering this. You may experience some problems and delays with delivery. I ordered this on December 1st, and like I said, it's December 10th, and it's just now showing up. So, all right, enough of that. Let's get on to the actual product here. So we have from 31C Digital / Toy Shock, we have the 3D pinball machine. It has 3D digital effects, backlit backbox display, has a nudge and tilt function for every game, pause and resume buttons, variable sound control, alphanumeric displays for players, ball count, up to 4 players you can play on this, individual games, record high scores. It's got a working plunger on it. 24-inch LCD playable view. Now, one of the big things that everybody has been complaining about with this has been the bezel. So I'm really curious to see if it's really as bad as people have said. Mind you, this is first generation. This is 50.5 inches tall. So 31.5 inches from the top of the table to the bottom of the floor, and then about 23.5 inches wide. So in reference, it's probably, the table's just about as high as your control deck on an arcade one-up. I'm 6'2", so this is going to be a good test. So you guys can watch me as I try to pull this out by myself. So now it says open this side, but it says don't use a knife. But I'm going to kind of just use my knife on the side, being very careful not to get it, and then I'll rip the tape down the center and try to adhere the rules that we have. So, opening this up, looks like they've got some gelatin packets that you can give to your kids to eat. Just add a little sugar. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. So we've got that inside there. We got a little piece of foam that's protecting the top. I do like the way they package these legs on top. These are steel legs. Anybody wondering? I mean, the box is heavy. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I know a lot of guys have been interested. They want to mod this thing. Honestly, this is something that I don't intend on putting any major mods. If the buttons are as good as arcade one-ups, I'm going to leave the buttons alone, even though I've got a ton of buttons. So let me take these legs out, get rid of the foam. All right, so here's your instruction manual. It's like a trifold, a bifold, quadfold, everything you need to know on it. I'm sure there's a digital download. I don't think we'll need to be doing anything with that. Let's take these pieces of foam off. That I can say, you know, the packaging on this thing is pretty good. You know, a lot of guys have stated that it was decently packaged. Here's your power cord. It's your standard power cord, like if you have a desktop PC, you know, standard across the board. You got some hardware here, the screws and the wing nuts to put your back panel on, as well as a screwdriver, Allen wrench combination tool for your legs. So underneath here, we see the panel. I'm just getting out all these little pieces of foam. So let's lift this. Can I lift this table out? This sucker's heavy. All right, I'm going to try to lift this up now. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So the back box is in it yet. All right. So I didn't see that. Let me get that out first. Let's set that down. The back box. There's your haunted house back box. Set that down. That would explain why it was super heavy. All right. And wow, this is still just as heavy. All right. And there is the table here. So we've got some cutouts on the top here for the frame, and you know, that's going to set right underneath there, and we're gonna screw it in. Now I do know that they give you these handy dandy tools built in, but you know what? I get more torque on my screwdriver, so I think I'm just going to use that, and then I'll use the Allen key that's on that to make it a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is just kind of hand screw it in to get it going, to hold that up. Then I'll tighten it down with the Allen key as we go. But so far, I mean, looking at it, the buttons seem good. I might not even replace the buttons, honestly. I know a couple guys have taken this apart. P-Dub over at P-Dub's Game Loft, he took it apart. And like I said in the beginning of this video, he's really to blame as to why I ordered this. He kept saying how fun it was. And honestly, guys, I know everybody's talking about modding. And, you know, for me, you know, Arcade 1-Ups, I've modded them. I've modded a few other things. But honestly, if I can play this game and everybody can have fun on it, that's all I care about. You know, I don't expect it to be a $5,000, $6,000 pinball machine. I really don't. I mean, let's face it. Who would have thought you'd have 3/4 scale cabinets in your house, or even a full-size one with the Legends Arcade? Now, you're getting digital pinball. And I hope this is just the start where other companies start making some of these affordable pinball machines for your house. Because, yeah, man, I would absolutely love to have more of these in my arcade. And I've gotten my wife to compromise, and we moved the couch away from here and put it over there, so that way I could fit more cabinets or more pinball tables, depending on Toy Shock gets any more coming out. The rumor is in 2020 there's going to be some more Toy Shock tables that are coming out, and you know, depending on how this is, I mean, I'd love to check them out, because I think that they could be really good. Make sure that you got this in the view here for you guys. I think it could be really, you know, a whole lot of fun with that. So, get this front leg on. I'm going to flip it sideways then and get the bottom one. All right, so on the back of this, as you can see, there's a little bit of tape. Now, it's attached to your graphics, so you want to be careful getting this off. The other piece of tape, I left it on the bottom, hidden behind there, because nobody's going to see it, and it'll just help hold the adhesive down. So I'm just pulling this off nice and easy. But you want to do that on both sides. Just be careful because, like I said, it's attached to the graphic. You don't want to pull the graphic off, but it comes up really easy. And just pull that packing, some kind of packing tape. I guess that's what it is, of some sort. So I'm wiping off all the extra. Looks like it's on the front too. So make sure you get it all off the front. Just to keep it looking nice. So I'm going around, taking off the tape. All in all, I will say this, just from putting it together, I have not turned it on yet. You guys obviously are watching this for the first time. It is solidly built. Like, it's not. I have it sitting on partially on the carpet and whatnot, and it's pretty solid. You got some wires here, and these look like speaker wires. I have to look at it. One of these is going to be for your main score, and I would say one of them is going to be powering it. So I would say these are probably a score because it's bigger. Looks like 4 or 5 pin. This one, or maybe this one is 4 pin, 4 score, 4 sparks on it. But either way, that's what that's for. So let's get the bezel on top. So putting this up here, this is the back of the haunted house cabinet. You'll notice that there's 2 screws in here. We have to take these screws out in order to fasten the top of the score box to the actual arcade table, the pinball table. So let's take this out. As you can see, the wood, I mean, it's not high quality wood, but it's the same kind of wood that Arcade 1-Up has, and it's actually a little bit, actually it's the same thickness as the frame of the Arcade 1-Up. So it's pretty good. You'll notice there's a little slot inside there. That's where you're going to have to stick these wires. So you're going to have to tuck them in under here, slide this back so that meets up with it. And then you've got some wing nuts. You got 4 wing nuts. You got these little wing nuts. So as you can see, there's 4 holes in here. So we're just going to kind of stick that in there and, tighten her down. I'm not going to tighten it yet until I get them all in there. So the speakers look like they're 8 ohm, 5 watt. Now, there's been people that have been complaining about these speakers. And so I'm kind of curious as to see how loud they are. I know some people just like to complain. I mean, some people, there's purists out there that do videos on this stuff. That you're not going to make them happy any way, any shape, anyhow. But for me, I'm building a replica arcade here in my basement studio that me, my wife, my kids, without spending money, on a Friday, Saturday night, can invite people over, or even if we just come down ourselves, play some good whole fun with the family, and have a great time. That's all I care about. I'm not worried about if this is, the best thing since sliced bread. Because obviously, and I think the company Toy Shock would even agree, a little dust in here, they would agree that it's a toy. There's no other way to put it. It's not a professional table. So that's something we need to keep in mind. Now, before I go and put that back on, here's your 3 wires that match up to the 3 wires that you push through. Now, there's no way of messing this up. So we want to plug in the thick one, and you can see there's a little tab for it. Just slide her in. So you'll know when it goes in. The smaller, thinner one, put that in there. That clicked. This one didn't click, but I might not have got a good on it. And the audio. So let's re-put this one in. See if I can get it in. Let's put her in there and get it. There we go. Clicked. All right. So now we've got them. All 3 of them should click. Always should click. Anytime you're doing Molex cables like that. So now we just put this on the back. What I like to do is just put them in by hand. and just to get them started. Then we take the old screwdriver. Now, mind you also, you don't need to crank the living daylights out of it. Just tighten it snug, you know. So, I'm getting this foam off of it. That's one thing I don't like about packing peanuts and stuff. Get all this foam, and then it gets all over my carpet, but it keeps it looking nice. So now, before we put the table where it's going to live, you have this power plug right here. So I'm going to untwist it and throw that out of the way. Right up under here is the actual power box that you plug this into, and there you go. So now I just have to move the table, and I'm ready to plug her in. So here's the table in all its glory. I'm 6'2". It comes up to like my midsection comfortably. I think I can, without much exertion, go down to it. The buttons. Let's peel this stuff off. This has got to go. The glass protector. It's a nice touch though, putting that on there. You know, I'm not sure how I feel. Some guys were saying about, you know, this bezel, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the bezel. Plunger seems pretty cool. Let's see if we can zoom out here and get you guys situated. Let's see here. So the plunger, you know, comes out here. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It looked cheaper in the picture, I'll be honest. This looked a lot cheaper in the picture than what it does. Your start, select buttons, buttons on the side. Well, let's boot it up and see. There's a power switch right back here. Let's get her turned on. Now, the other thing people had complaints about was this. It's not lit all the way down. But again, I don't know if you'd want it lit. I mean, you can see how bright my arcade LED here is compared to this. I mean, it's pretty bright. This is pretty bright. I don't know if you'd want this lit all the way down, although it wouldn't be hard to do, because I don't want it shining off my table. I want to be able to play the table without having like all this extra light shining down on it. Like even now I'm getting some of it, because I'm getting it from my LEDs on top here. So volume's coming on. We've got a player 1 here, player 1, 0. Stereo speakers. And let's see here. Let's see how loud this can get. Speaker quality is pretty bad. I will say that. But that's an easy fix. This max volume, solid table, but speaker quality is pretty. As a guy that's into music and good into audio, these are bad speakers. Very, very distorted audio coming out of it. It's not just, but again, it's a toy. Okay. Might be an easy fix. I got some speakers in the garage. Maybe I'll pop these out and put those in and see how it is. But is it unplayable? No. Especially when you've got all the audio of the other arcades on, which I don't have right now. So let's take you closer to the actual playing table. All right, let's go into one of these games. I want to play Haunted House. That's the one that this has been named after. Let me turn down the volume. I keep wanting to touch the screen, so that way I can at least talk over it. If I was playing it by myself, I would probably crank the volume. But I think if I was in there with a bunch of people, I would say 80% is where your arcade 1-ups are at medium volume. Or the older arcade 1-ups, when you have them, there's only medium and high. Your medium volume is right here. That's where I would go with that. So let's go back and let's bring that back down to 50% so I can actually talk over this. All right. So we're going to start Haunted House. And I like the fact, I kind of like the fact that the bezel is the way it is, because I can lean on it. Viewing angle looks pretty good. Flipper. Let's see here. I haven't seen a huge delay in any of this. So far, it seems to be going pretty good. Oh, I'm out of the inner hole. Oh! I mean, the camera doesn't do it justice, I don't think. I watched a couple of the reviews earlier, and people are like, oh, you know, the ball seems to float. But I'll tell you, if you have a chance to play this in real life, the ball bounces pretty fast. Now, I don't know how my camera's showing it. My camera's set to 60 frames per second. So I'm kind of curious to see if my camera's going to give you guys a true representation of it. Now, one of the things I'd like to do with this is I'd like to make it so I can capture the screen instead of doing what we're doing here with the camera. But responsiveness, I don't know. It seems to be pretty responsive. I mean, I haven't sat here and was like, oh man, the ball's not moving. But I mean, again, I'm not a pinball purist. I played this as a kid at the bowling alleys. I still play it when I have a chance and I go to different arcades that still have pinball systems. And I mean, could I sit here and play this for $400, man? My goodness. If you want a pinball machine at your house. I guess I should also state, they didn't send me this. I bought this with my own money. So I'm going to see. I got to put this in here because I got a high score, so my son realizes and my daughter realizes who got the high score. So I'm within the top 5. All right, let's go back out. Let's see how I can figure out how to go back out. Select. Can I go out? Exit table. All right. So one of the other tables, there's Victory, there's Bone Busters, there's Lights Camera Action, Class of 1812, TX Sector, Big Shot, El Dorado, City of Gold, Centigrade 37, Black Hole, Jack's Open, Going Nuts, and then back to Haunted House. No, I'll tell you, Black Hole's been one that I played. That's one of my, and the Class of 1812. Those two are ones, they're probably classics that everybody's played. So, it has that, like a lot of people said, there's a lot of static in the pinball, but you know what? It has that retro pinball sound. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, these are old tables, and it has that retro sound to it. I kind of like it, honestly. Gives you that feel like this was like an original arcade. Oh, it went underneath it. The plunger does seem a little delayed. The tilt. No, don't go down there. Sorry, I was purposely like hitting that because I wanted to see response-wise. Okay, so final thoughts of the initial opening unboxing of the pinball machine. I'm happy with it. I honestly think it'll be interesting to see what my kids think, and I might post that on social media a little bit later on. But I'm happy with this. I can honestly say, I mean, from the standpoint of the arcade one-ups to Legends Ultimate, this is a great new addition to my arcade. The fact that I have this ability to have this pinball machine, I'm stoked. I think this is good. It's well built. It's well constructed. It handles it. Um, if I had some collective criticism, I do agree with some that the bezel is extremely huge. Some people said put graphics over it. But honestly, when I'm sitting here playing it, I don't even notice it. But one of the things that I know is going to happen, and I know my kids are going to do, they're going to come over here and they're going to do this. And they're going to lean on it. And I would rather have them leaning on this bezel, as horrendous as some of you guys think, than leaning on the glass. Because then I get to sit there and yell at them and say, don't lean on the glass, don't lean on the glass. One of the things, too, when I play this, I tend to play with my palms down, as maybe some of you do, and I got long fingers, so I can reach just by, you can see I'm tilting the table, just by reaching. All I'm doing is twisting my, so I don't have to do much, and I'm sitting here, and I'm just, and I'm playing just with my hands and resting it. So I think, I don't know, some might disagree with me, some might sit there and say, no, this bezel's horrible, and that's fine. Do I think maybe you could put a graphic over it? Yeah, I mean, if it really bothers you that much, maybe put black. But go look at some of them high-end pinball tables. They have a big silver bezel, and then they've got about an inch of black that goes around it. That really breaks up the bezel. If I was going to do this, if I was going to put a graphic on it, I would take about an inch, maybe an inch and a half of black, run it all on the edge here, but keep the silver. I think that would make it pop. That might make it, stand out a little bit better. I think this is plenty backlit over here on the haunted house. I would not add another LED. Again, I don't want it shining on my table and making it so I can't view. So if you guys need to do that, the other thing I think is some people were saying it's not 3D. I would go as far as saying it's probably a 2D because you'd have to wear 3D glasses to really make it true 3D. But for all intents, you see things popping up? Do the flippers look like they're multiple layer and not, 1D where you're looking at? Yeah, absolutely. I will say, like the instructions here on the table, completely unreadable. Like you cannot read. I can read black hole, but everything else in the corner and replay for each score of 350,000 points. That's blurry. So I think that type of stuff, resolution could be better. But again, if you're nitpicking, a $400 toy, okay, not a high-end pinball machine. So if you have the expendable cash and you're building an arcade like I am in my basement studio, I'd say buy it. I say this should be on your list to buy, just like the arcade one-ups. I 100% without a doubt. I would love to get more. I just don't know if I'll have the room. I could probably get one or two more here, and then I'll have to start putting them on the other side of the studio. But it's a good problem to have. Here they can come in here, they can still play Asteroids and not get in the way of the person here playing the pinball. So I'm kind of set. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. First impressions. Let me play with this for a couple weeks. I might have some other thoughts for you on this, but my first impressions out of the box is pretty good. I'm happy with this purchase. I do not regret it, and I know P-Dub's sitting there watching this video right now, going, "Oh, thank God, he doesn't regret it." Because I kept saying, "I hope I don't regret it," because I've seen all these posts from people. $400 is a deal for this. Well constructed, well built, solid. Buttons feel good. I'm not even going to change the buttons out. But I will make this suggestion to the guys over at Toy Shock. I would like to see more of the buttons with the concave in it, like the arcade one-up has done, instead of the smooth buttons on the side. Only because it kind of helps you when you're kind of feeling it. You can kind of get your finger in the groove, Kind of helps. That would be my only quarrel with these buttons, is that they're rounded and they don't have the bevel in them like the arcade ones do. And the plunger, I mean, how far do you need to pull it out? I mean, really. I mean, you're not railing on it, you know. So that's my review. That's my first thoughts. So again, thank you guys for watching and tuning in here. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm gonna put the next video out, and stay tuned for more here at the Tech Buzz in the channel of arcades, Toy Shock, Legends Ultimate. And make sure you give subscribe to P-Dub's Arcade Loft, Glenn's Retro Show, Cool Toy, Mr. Dougie. Go over there, subscribe to those guys. Really appreciate it. Those guys also produce some great content. And really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll see you Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Retro Buzz on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on the techbuzz.net/live. Till next time, keep it buzzing.